The Pacific Ocean is often called the engine room of our planet's climate, driving weather patterns and influencing temperatures across the globe. At the heart of this vast ocean lies one of Earth's most dramatic natural cycles, the El Niño Southern Oscillation, or ENSO. El Niño is the warm phase of this cycle, while La Niña is the cool phase. Together, they act like a global switch, shaping weather and climate in every corner of the world, from droughts to floods and everything in between. In a typical year, strong trade winds blow from east to west across the Pacific, pushing warm surface water toward Asia and allowing cooler, nutrient-rich water to rise up along the coast of South America. But during an El Niño event, these trade winds weaken or even reverse, causing the warm water to surge back eastward. This shift releases vast amounts of heat and moisture into the atmosphere, fueling powerful storms and altering weather patterns far beyond the Pacific. This dramatic change disrupts global air currents, especially the jet streams, those fast-moving ribbons of air high above us that steer weather systems around the planet. Even in the UK, thousands of miles from the Pacific, El Niño can have a surprising impact. It can alter the pressure systems that drive our weather, sometimes bringing unexpected storms or unusual dry spells. For example, El Niño can shift the position of the Azores High, a system that often brings us summer sunshine, or change the path of rain-bearing low-pressure systems, affecting everything from our gardens to our daily commutes. The result: weather patterns here in the UK can shift dramatically, sometimes in ways we don't expect, all triggered by subtle changes thousands of miles away in the distant Pacific Ocean. El Niño is a powerful reminder that our world is deeply interconnected. What happens on one side of the planet can ripple across continents, affecting lives and landscapes everywhere. That's why understanding this remarkable connection is so important. It's key to predicting what's ahead for the UK, helping us prepare for whatever the weather may bring. Sometimes, El Niño turns supercharged, a super El Niño, when Pacific Sea temperatures soar more than 2 degrees above average for months. These rare events unleash staggering amounts of energy, fueling record heat waves, droughts, floods, and even coral bleaching worldwide. The Super El Niños of 1982-83, 1997-98, and 2015-16 caused billions in damage and thousands of deaths. They're benchmarks for what extreme climate disruption looks like. When layered on top of human-caused warming, a Super El Niño can push weather extremes to new heights. Understanding these events is crucial as our planet warms and the risks grow. Super El Niño isn't just a weather story, it's a global event with far-reaching consequences. In the spring of 2026, scientists are closely monitoring the Pacific Ocean for classic signs of a developing El Niño, warm water surging eastward beneath the surface, disrupting normal ocean patterns. These subtle but significant changes are being tracked by research vessels and satellites as experts look for early warnings of what could become a major climate event. Major meteorological agencies around the world have now issued an official El Niño watch, warning that there's an 80% chance of full development by late summer. This means the odds are high that the Pacific will tip into an El Niño phase, with global consequences for weather and climate. Even more concerning, there's a 1 in 3 chance that this event could escalate into a Super El Niño by autumn, a rare and powerful phenomenon that can reshape weather patterns worldwide. The stakes are incredibly high. A powerful El Niño typically boosts global temperatures, often pushing the planet to new records, with the most intense impacts usually felt the following year as the climate system responds. That means 2027 could become the hottest year ever recorded, potentially crossing the critical 1.5 degree C warming threshold set by the Paris Agreement, a level scientists warn could trigger dangerous and irreversible changes. This isn't just speculation, it's grounded in decades of climate data, sophisticated computer models, and the memory of recent record-breaking events that have shocked communities around the globe. The last El Niño helped make 2024 the hottest year yet. A stronger one now could unleash even more extreme weather. from devastating heat waves and wildfires to catastrophic floods and droughts. With a warmer baseline climate than ever before, the risks are amplified, and the impacts could be more severe and widespread than anything we've seen in recent history. Scientists are watching developments closely, aware that the world could be on the brink of unprecedented and rapid change, with far-reaching consequences for ecosystems, agriculture, and human societies. The signs are clear. Now is the time to prepare for a year of extremes and to take action to build resilience in the face of a changing climate. To predict the future, we look to the past, and past strong El Niños have brought the UK both heat waves and washouts. These dramatic swings in weather have left a lasting mark on the country, shaping everything from our landscapes to our daily routines. El Niño is a global phenomenon, but its fingerprints on the UK are unique and sometimes surprising. The 1976 El Niño coincided with a legendary UK drought and heat wave, while 2018 brought another hot, dry summer. Parks filled with sunbathers, reservoirs ran low, and fields turned brown under relentless sun. These years are remembered for their intensity, with water shortages and wildfires making headlines. In these cases, high pressure blocked Atlantic storms, letting continental heat pour in. The usual rain-bearing systems were kept at bay, and the UK basked in weeks of sunshine, sometimes to the point of discomfort. But the 1997-98 Super El Niño delivered a mild, wet UK summer, as the jet stream shifted south and steered rain our way. Instead of heat waves, umbrellas became the season's must-have accessory, and outdoor events were often washed out. The outcome depends on how El Niño interacts with other climate patterns, especially the North Atlantic Oscillation. This powerful climate driver can amplify or dampen El Niño's effects, making each event a unique puzzle for forecasters. A small shift in the jet stream can mean the difference between weeks of sun and a summer of rain. Even a subtle change in its path can transform the UK's weather outlook, turning expectations upside down. The most recent El Niño in 2023-24 also leaned toward unsettled, wetter weather for the UK. Many regions saw above-average rainfall with local flooding and unpredictable storms disrupting summer plans. El Niño's global heat doesn't guarantee a UK heat wave. Our weather is shaped by a complex mix of forces. The UK sits at the crossroads of ocean currents and atmospheric patterns, making our climate especially sensitive to subtle shifts. The lesson: expect surprises, not certainties. Each El Niño brings its own blend of weather, and no 2 years are ever quite the same. For the UK, El Niño's impact is always nuanced and unpredictable. While we can look to history for clues, the only thing we can truly count on is change. Could a Super El Niño give the UK a Spanish-style summer, weeks of sun, soaring temperatures, and drought? If high pressure blocks Atlantic storms, hot air from Europe could bake the UK for weeks. This setup has produced our most intense heat waves in the past. But with relentless sun come challenges, water shortages, parched landscapes, wildfire risk, and health threats. While this scenario is possible, it's less likely than the alternative. Still, with climate change and a Super El Niño, the UK could see heat waves unlike anything before. The dream of a Mediterranean summer is tempting, but the reality could be far more challenging. The latest models suggest a different story for 2027, a milder, wetter UK summer. Forecasts from leading centers point to a persistent Atlantic low-pressure system, drawing mild, moist air over the UK. Instead of heat waves, expect frequent rain and humid, unsettled weather. The most intense heat would likely hit Central and Eastern Europe, not Britain. This pattern matches past strong El Niño years, like 1997-98 and 2023-24. For the UK, El Niño often means more umbrellas than sun cream. Our island's weather is a tug-of-war between ocean and continent, and this time, the Atlantic looks set to win. The result: a summer that feels familiar, not foreign. A Spanish summer means relentless heat, 35 Baltic days, endless sun, and barely any rain. The UK, by contrast, is defined by moderation, 22-25 degrees on a good day, frequent clouds, and regular showers. London gets half the July sunshine of Madrid and 4 times the rain. Even in a hot, dry El Niño year, the UK is unlikely to truly match Spain's climate. Our nights stay cooler, and the sun is less intense. At best, we might get a taste of Mediterranean weather, more hot days, less rain, but our temperate climate will still show through. The comparison is striking, but a true Spanish summer in Britain remains a distant possibility. Still, it's a useful benchmark for how much things could change. Despite advances in forecasting, predicting the exact impacts of the 2027 El Niño is still fraught with uncertainty. The climate system is a chaotic web of interacting forces, ocean currents, atmospheric patterns, and more. The North Atlantic Oscillation, for example, could amplify or counteract El Niño's effects, but we can't predict its state this far ahead. Climate models, while powerful, make approximations and can diverge in their forecasts. Every El Niño now unfolds in a warmer world, adding new layers of unpredictability. The result? We know a super El Niño is likely, and 2027 could be record hot, but the UK's specific weather remains uncertain. We're navigating uncharted territory, where surprises are inevitable. That's why flexibility and preparation matter more than ever. As 2027 approaches, the question remains, will the UK sizzle or soak? Scientists are watching Pacific temperatures and North Atlantic pressure patterns for clues. Early warnings, even with uncertainty, give us time to prepare, whether for drought, floods, or heat waves. Governments, farmers, and health services can plan ahead, building resilience against whatever comes. On a personal level, understanding these risks helps us adapt and stay safe. The developing El Niño is a reminder of our planet's power and unpredictability. By staying informed and ready, we can weather whatever 2027 brings. The Pacific's pulse is quickening, and the world is watching.